When it comes to honoring a brand's legacy, while simultaneously stoking the fire of desire among hardcore enthusiasts, few automakers have achieved a balance as masterfully as Porsche. It's not just about building fast cars or dominating racetracks. It's about crafting limited production, ultra-exclusive machines that feel more like rolling works of art than products you might actually see on the road. Sure, these cars are out of reach for nearly everyone. But for fans, collectors, and dreamers, their existence alone is enough to keep the mystique of the brand alive. In a world where mass production and electric homogenization are rapidly shaping the automotive future, Porsche's approach stands as a bold, nostalgic, and intentional act of reverence for what driving used to mean, and still can mean. Take, for instance, the Porsche 935 that debuted as a track-only beast. Inspired by the legendary 935/78 Moby Dick that raced in the late 1970s, the modern interpretation was built in just 77 units and priced north of $800,000. From its elongated bodywork to its retro-modern details, the car wasn't just a tribute, it was a resurrection. You could argue that its value lies less in its lap times and more in what it represents. A tangible connection to Porsche's motorsport roots, built not for the masses, but for the lucky few who live in a world of invitation-only track days and curated car collections. Some might scoff at the rarity and price tag. Others, however, understand the thrill of even seeing one parked at an event, let alone hearing its engine roar through a straightaway. And then, there's the 911 GT3 R Rennsport. Also limited to just 77 examples, and carrying a price tag over $1 million, this car isn't just another expensive Porsche, it's an engineering statement. The 911 GT3 R Rennsport is, in every way, a race car free from regulation. It doesn't conform to competition rules because it doesn't have to. It's a pure expression of what Porsche can do when it unshackles itself from rules and builds something just because it can. The car is brutal, beautiful, and, above all, rare. From its carbon fiber bodywork to its rear wing that looks like it belongs on a Le Mans prototype, the GT3 R Rennsport is the kind of machine that reminds people why they fell in love with cars in the first place. Are these cars practical? Absolutely not. Will most Porsche fans ever sit behind the wheel of one? Probably not. But that's missing the point. These ultra-rare models are aspirational icons, proof that Porsche still has both the confidence and the creative freedom to push boundaries. In an era where so many car companies are focused on mobility solutions, ride-sharing platforms, and autonomous tech, Porsche is still building cars that make your pulse race. They aren't afraid to build for emotion, to celebrate craftsmanship, or to take a financial gamble in the name of passion. That's why, despite their astronomical price tags and hyper-limited production runs, these cars matter. Not because they'll be spotted in traffic, but because they continue to shape the story of the brand. They give people something to talk about, to post about, to dream about. For a young car enthusiast flipping through photos online, the image of a Porsche 935 or GT3 R Rennsport might be the spark that turns into a lifelong love of automotive culture. For a collector, it might be the crown jewel in a garage full of treasures. For the average enthusiast, it might just be the reason to visit an auto show or stay glued to live streams from Monterey Car Week or the Nürburgring. Cynics will argue that cars like these are vaporware, vehicles meant more for branding than for driving. But even vapor can leave a scent in the air. Porsche's special editions do more than just exist. They signal to the world that someone still values design, heritage, and mechanical excellence. They're a middle finger to mediocrity and a love letter to motorsport. Porsche isn't alone in the high-end, ultra-limited edition game, but they certainly play it better than most. These cars aren't about being the fastest in a straight line or the most tech-laden in the cabin. They're about attitude, about history, about exclusivity, And Porsche nails every one of those with a kind of precision only decades of motorsport success and engineering evolution can buy. And perhaps that's what makes them so fascinating, even from afar. You don't need to be able to afford $1 million Porsche to appreciate it. Just knowing it exists, knowing someone at Porsche took the time to design something so extreme, so unnecessary, and yet so utterly beautiful, that's enough. It proves that even in a world increasingly dominated by software and silent drivetrains, there's still a place for raw, mechanical expression. So whether you're a die-hard Porsche fanatic or just someone who admires automotive excellence from a distance, these special editions deserve attention. Not because you'll drive one, but because they still get built. Because Porsche still believes that emotion belongs in engineering. And because even if you never touch the keys, you'll remember the name. For car lovers who want to keep up with rare models, collector news, and exotic builds like these, smart tools like HIX.AI Chat offer a fast, AI-powered way to stay informed, inspired, and connected to the automotive world, especially the parts of it that most people only ever dream about.